sometimes our brother from another, we got to do a bonus section. We run out of time. And I got two people here who are just not giving LeBron his due. So I just want to know what's up. Give the man his credit. Give him his flowers right now. You're going to deny his all-time greatness. You're going to deny his potential goatness.
Look at the way you're setting up the conversation. You setting it up to get us killed in the comments. No one is denying his greatness. Go ahead, Jay.
No one is. And Michael, here's your floral arrangement, okay? It still astounds me that he's going to end up with more points than Kareem and more assists than Magic. And this is someone who grew up, who was raised on watching those guys become the best at what they did in their categories, right? Magic, the best passer, Kareem, the best scorer. And LeBron's going to outdo both of them in their areas. That's phenomenal to me. But he don't have a day of the calendar. He doesn't have a number, right? And like, he also doesn't have a team. When we look at LeBron, is he a Laker? Is he a Heat?
Ouch. He's a Cavalier. I mean, like Jordan was a Wizard. Right? I mean, he shouldn't have been. Chicago never should have let it come to that. Shame on you, Jerry Krause.
Nobody says Michael Jordan the Wizard.
He was a Wizard. No, he's not a. No, MJ is the Bull. Right. He is the Bull. He is the Bull. He's the logo. He's everything. He's Chicago Stadium.
That's the thing.
He's United Center.
LeBron,
he's everything.
You could argue LeBron's the greatest player to play for two franchises, right? But the Heat are still more Dwayne Wade than LeBron, right?
Yes, they are.
Interesting.
Okay. Yes, they are. That's Wade County. Of course it is.
All right. So what? So Natalie, tell me this. Tell me this. This is what I want to get to. Is it just blocked? Like in certain areas are just blocked. You can't get there. No matter what you do, there's no access. Saying. There's no access to this GOAT land. It's Michael. It's Michael all by himself, and nobody can ever get there. Or is there something you can do? Is there a calculus?
No, LeBron can't.
Is there some path? Okay, LeBron can't, no matter what he does.
No.
So if
someone else can.
So if he plays 3 more years, why not? Why can't he get there? That's what I want to know. Why not?
Okay, so, and I'm going to say this again because I already know. I am known, like at least I'm not known, but on NBA Twitter, people think I am a LeBron hater. So they just, in the comments, that's all you saw. Oh, Natalie hates LeBron. I don't hate the man. I don't see why I have to talk about him because everybody else does. So me not talking about him and praising him is really not going to do anything. But that being said, when we're talking about the GOAT, all of the guys who are in potential for that conversation are great. They are amazing. So now you're looking at, okay, what makes one better than the other? And when I said his case is largely based on longevity and these counting stats that he's accumulated over time, he wasn't going to get the rings to pass MJ. He doesn't have the defensive teams. Like, come on. And MJ did that in a shorter period of time. It was pure dominance during his era. All the things that, people weren't like winning while he was there. Like all the things that we know have heard. That is better. You're never going to sell me that someone who took several more years longer to do it is better than the person that did it in a shorter time and dominated. LeBron is playing longer, and to play at a high level is something we should absolutely acknowledge and applaud. But because he played longer and has the ability to accumulate all these stats, right? Magic's career ended shorter in a short time. We know that. So of course, over time, he's accumulated more assists than Magic, but I'm not going to say he's a greater passer or better than that's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't mean you're better. It means like you played longer and you were able to accumulate more assists. So you're playing for a very long time. You're going to score more points. Great. Let's applaud it. You're doing it at a high level. Your team also at this stage is not in contention for anything. So why am I praising that? Like, I'm praising your play, but your team, you're not even in contention for anything. And so that's the way that I look at it. He's great. He's one of the greatest players of all time. He is up there, and that's it. You're not getting a goal.
How high up there? How high up there?
He's up there. We can say where I rank him for another
Top
day.
5?
What I will say is this.
Is he your all-time? Is he in your all-time starting 5?
Yes, but he is not an automatic the second one. That I never accepted. It's not just a MJ LeBron conversation, and I hate that people do that.
Okay.
And
so
one good thing about him getting ready to pass Kareem is that it's brought Kareem back into the chat, right? Like, you can't talk about this moment without celebrating how great Kareem was and without reminding people how great the captain was in his day.
Yeah, I'll just say, Kareem played for 20 years. There are a lot of people who played for a long time and they're not in position to be the number one scorer in the history of basketball, a record that has stood for nearly 40 years. So think about this. He's going to be the number one scorer. He's going to be the number one scorer. He's just passed Steve Nash, a great point guard. He just passed Mark Jackson, an underrated and I'm going to say borderline great point guard too, on assists. So over 10,000 assists. He's going to be the number one scorer. He's up there in rebounds. He's got championships with 2 different franchises.
3 different franchises.
Hey.
That's another thing I don't understand. Why are you greater for hopping around?
Oh, that's right.
I will say this.
I wiped out the bubble.
I wiped
out the bubble.
Yeah, but
it's an unprecedented story, though. When you think about
to teams, the moment
but to me, that actually enhances the argument. I think one of the cases for LeBron is that it's unmatched, really, in sports. The fact that you go to Miami, they become the best team in the Eastern Conference and win 2 championships. All you do when you're there is go to the finals, go back to Cleveland, win a championship for a city that hasn't tasted anything close to success in half a century. And then you go to the storied franchise of the Lakers and restore them to a championship too. That's an unmatched narrative.
No, it's a silly narrative. I'm sorry. Like, I completely reject that narrative. So hold on. First of all,
they silly now.
Okay. I'm about to tell you. First of all, they won in the bubble and they haven't done anything else in the other years. So restored, talk to Lakers fans about how they feel about LeBron and the great, like, because you think I'm just being a hater. Talk to actual Lakers fans, not the LeBron stans who are his fans only. Talk to actual Lakers fans and see how they feel about that championship and how they feel about what he's doing for their franchise. He hasn't restored anything. That's first. Secondly, yes, I thought it was great when he went back to Cleveland. I actually said, you know what? That's dope. Let me try to look at this man in a new light because he drives me crazy. He really does, right? But then he leaves again the moment shit gets tough in Cleveland. He leaves, right? Why did he
still
leave?
Love him, but talk to them, though. Talk to them. They love him. Just like you said, talk to Lakers fans. They still love him.
Because there's this false argument people make for LeBron. Oh, he's never had the coaches other players had. He's never been. The Heat is a model organization. They are a model organization, right? Tim Duncan stayed with the Spurs through several iterations. Stephen Curry right now went through 2 years of all kinds of freaking injuries with the Warriors and came back. Why is the person who leaves and jumps to another organization that gets it tailor-made for him, why is it something to applaud him for and build him up and say, well, he did it with 3 other orgs? Do we think Tim Duncan and Steph Curry and all the other great players, if they didn't jump and leave, could go do that? Kawhi did it. He left the Spurs and then he went to Toronto and he won. These are great players. Great players will do that. But if you stay and you keep going through all the different iterations of the team, the things that you don't always have control over and still keep winning, that is greater. So the fact that those players opted not to do that, I'm not going to celebrate LeBron more because he upped and leave every time he didn't like the circumstances. No, I do not support that narrative at all. Reject it. Sorry.
So I'm not as into loyalty as I once was, particularly because the franchise can cut you when things go bad too. And the fact that, well, we're not going to say Cleveland is a model organization, right?
No,
and so
I'm just talking about the Heat.
No.
Right. The Heat are, and the Lakers, as presently constructed, haven't been a model organization since the passing of Jerry Buss, the greatest owner in the history of professional sports. So the fact that he could make 2 different organizations who, well, one wasn't currently equipped. One had a great history of winning. And then the other one had no history of winning. And he turned both of them into championship. But it's funny. Natalie brings up the point about the bubble. That's why I kind of didn't want LeBron to win that year, because if he win, I knew it would forever be asterisked
Hey, well, listen. Hey, okay.
And the further we get out from it, the more asterisk worthy it looks, right? Like, could they have won without him getting a nice 2-month reset, right? You have to ask that question based on what we've seen.
Him and AD have not been able to remain healthy. They have not been able to remain healthy for a full season. So if they did not get that break, would they have gone and won? And
That's
also, Stephen Curry was out, Kevin Durant was out. Any person who could possibly challenge him was out that season. Come on.
But I would say this. Come on.
It's a chip.
Like, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back. No, look, it's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. We couldn't control it. Nobody could control what happened during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
So the league wanted to keep going. If they didn't want to have a tournament, they didn't want to have an asterisk, they should have shut it down, but they didn't. But I want to say this, as somebody who lives in Boston, and you know who Lakers fans hate more than anybody, the Celtics. And so this whole organizations, and Jay, you know I'm right on this, organizations, they count their titles. If that title doesn't count, Lakers fans, well then stop counting. Then the Celtics are ahead of you. So if you want to put an asterisk on that, dismiss that one. But you ain't gonna do that. So it's you can't have it both ways. Either the title is legitimate and you're tied with the Celtics in all-time championships, or the title is fraudulent and now the Celtics are one ahead of you. But I know what Lakers fans will do on that. But here's the other thing. Let me go back. Something you said about leaving. LeBron James got to a Cleveland Cavaliers team that had never been to the finals. He was 18 years old. They had never even appeared in the NBA finals. And he took them to the finals. One of the worst teams I've seen.
I don't
condemn him for that. Okay, so he left after 7 years. He's 25 years old. He's MVP. He's got options. He leaves. He goes to Miami. 4 years, 4 straight finals, back-to-back, and right in the middle, bookended by finals losses, back-to-back. He leaves. You condemn him for that?
Yes, because he left
Miami.
because he saw the writing on the wall. Dwayne Wade.
Yes. Coaches do that. Coaches do that. Players, GMs do that.
Hold on. I'm not saying there's any issue with him leaving. Like, people should feel free to leave wherever they want to go. What I'm saying is I'm not going to then praise him and say, oh, he went here, here, and here, and so he's greater for that, because other people chose not to do that and stay. Like, you're praising him for something that others did not have the option or ability to do or didn't. So, like, it's not greater that he went and did that. He bailed because he's like, all right.
Not greater. Not necessarily greater, but it's different. He chose a different path. Some people wouldn't.
It's unique.
Some people wouldn't do that.
It's not something that makes you like a GOAT for it. Like, no, like that's like, okay, you won. Any great player could do that. Any great player could do that.
Maybe he's a GOAT because he's about to be the #1 scorer. Bring it all the way back. #1 scorer. He's going to be up there at assists. He may win another championship or two. And he's elite.
You don't believe that. You don't believe
at the age of, I don't know. I don't believe that. No, you're right. I don't. But he's elite. He's elite at age 38. Elite. Not just, very good. Not like
he's not a great
an all-star reserve. Nobody has been this great at this age.
And let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate that.
You know what I thought the reward for that was? When being the leading vote getter in the conference for the All-Star. Like, when that happened, I'm like, you know what? That's a nice token appreciation for this season, because he shouldn't be the MVP, but we should acknowledge what he's doing at this age.
You know what?
It's acknowledged daily. It's acknowledged daily. I don't know how much more acknowledgement you guys want.
I love it.
Well, I like that official certification. The fact that he was the leading vote getter for the All-Star game at this stage in his career, I thought was a nice certification and appreciation.
I'm going to tell you guys,
we do need to certify these things, right? We don't need to just tweet about it. We do need some sort of official stamp on that.
This is why I love you both. We've been talking about this for 15 minutes. We have not resolved anything. We have not moved off of our positions. And that's what it's all about. I'd be disappointed if somebody changed their position coming into this, after this argument. So, good to see you guys.
You too.
Until the next time.
So nice
Right.
We haven't talked before. It's nice.
Oh, y'all never met? That's even better.
No, Mike, you got me debuting with all kinds of folks today. Once we got, I didn't know that. And then the one guy I knew, Jason Reed, like, we didn't get to finish our conversation with him. Jason and I go way back.
So we got to talk to him. So we gotta reconnect with Jason Reed, and we have to revisit the GOAT conversation. LeBron James or Michael Jordan or Kareem. How about Kareem? Give Kareem some love.
I can make the case for Kareem.
We all can. I see y'all.
6 championships, 6 MVPs. Lost 1 game in college.
There you go.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.